So there's a freeze coming this week, early freeze. It's November 6th. So I wanted to get some of my garden on video before it changes. This is the chili pekin garden, and I am so proud of this. This is a third-year plant. You can kind of see how big it is there. This is these are second-year plants. You can see how big they are and how much bigger it will get in its third year. These are native peppers, native to Texas. And, you know, this is not remarkable except for the fact that it is completely shaded. This is what the sky looks like. So the sun comes from over here. Or I'm sorry, the sun comes from this direction. Comes up, comes up, comes up, comes up, comes up, comes up, comes up. And it's completely shaded. I wanted production in the shade. I didn't want just some plants. And I definitely have it. There are chili petins all over the place. I also have some Texas betony back here, which looks pretty cool. But these chili petins are seriously show-stopping. Every single plant has tons of them. Some of them are red, and there's still some flowers. You can see there's a little flower right there. Let's see if I can zoom in on the flower. Can it happen? Yeah, it's not happening. But still flowers. Chili petin there, flowers. See, this is the first year for this American Beauty Berry. It's probably a second-year plant, but first year in this spot. Next year I expect it to be significantly larger. That's the reason I left a big open space there. The Yopons are actually doing pretty well. So these are really slow growing, and they grow in thickets, so I planted 3 of them here. And I got this one big, knowing that it was probably going to shed all its leaves because, again, it's full shade, and I got this in shade sun. It's doing okay. It's shed quite a bit of leaves, you can see on the ground down there, but it's doing all right. This is Eve's necklace. I hope the deer don't keep eating it. If so, I'll have to pick it up and move it. But this is relative to mountain laurel, distant relative, and it's supposed to be deer resistant. Not so sure about that right now. So that is the chili petin garden at the end of this season. Looks pretty good. I'm very happy and excited about next year. So this is black and blue sage. Pretty excited that that is growing. I want more of this. Also, I have several little sprouts of flame acanthus coming up everywhere, which is great. I'm gonna add more of these here. I like the way this is, and so I'm gonna add some more right in here and just make it just more of it. And those, you know, next year I'll bury a couple limbs so it goes from 3 to 5 plants, that kind of thing. You can see the lumbago over there is quite large, and the sages look awesome. The mystic sage and the Jerusalem sage over there. I've got standing cypress planted here, seeds and plants. There's plants coming up already. You can see them. Seeds are coming up too. Plumbago is just massive. Looks great. The yucca looks fantastic too. So pretty thrilled with the yucca. So next year got some plans, and I'll review those. You know, I got tired of fighting the Bermuda grass this year. I thought that if I just kept piling up the mulch that it would stop coming in. But you can see, zoom out. Anywhere that there's a gap there, the Bermuda is coming in, except for places like this. The Bermuda is not able to come in right here. These are rye grasses down there. And so I think I'm going to plant massive drifts of things that are so thick that the Bermuda can't come in. So next year, I'm going to have a couple more Mexican bush sages here. And then all this whole row right here is just going to be Mexican bush sage growing over the path. So the Bermuda's screwed up in here. Up in here, you can see the Gulf Muley looks pretty good. I need to cut it this year. I think they need to be trimmed to come back. You can see the flowery senna. The deer ate it last year. It's coming back this year. I hope it does better, but I mean, who knows? It's supposed to bloom yellow, like a nice pretty yellow, and it's been disappointing so far. Deer have destroyed it. So next year here, you can see the Mexican marigold. That looks fantastic. Those are second and third year plants. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to extend the drift, and I'm going to drift it all up into here, up to the Esperanza. Again, this Mexican marigold, the Bermuda just can't compete with it. There's no way the Bermuda is going to be able to come up in here. Look how dense that is, and compete with this. So I'm going to just plant it where that stick is. It's going to start right there. It's going to be the first plant. Others are going to go all up in here. And this lavender is going to go, that'll be a backyard plant eventually. And it's going to go all up in here. And this little area here also kind of gets invaded. I'd put some Blackfoot daisy here to see if the Blackfoot daisy would maybe help it out. It didn't. Blackfoot daisy got overrun by Bermuda. So I'm going to put Jerusalem sages right here. People say that Jerusalem sages can get kind of ratty. And so they're kind of in the middle of the garden, like they're behind this and they're behind this. They'll be a spring bloomer. So in the spring, when they're looking good, they'll be showing, and they're an evergreen. So I'll put 1, 2, 3, 4 up here, and then I'll put a 5th one back in this space, and that should fill in nicely with Jerusalem sages. I'll propagate all that for my own stuff, of course. The Copper Canyon daisy. Well, first off, the flame acanthus. I just love this flame acanthus. It's everywhere. The Copper Canyon daisy is really interesting. This stuff smells fantastic. It's like potpourri. You can see all the buds that are about to come out. I mean, this thing is about to absolutely explode with blooms. You can see it right here. Oh, there's a bluebonnet. There's a bluebonnet rosette right there. You can just see the blooms about to pop up right here. Here you've got Salvia greggii. I've got Salvia greggii here. Greggii. This one's kind of small, first year plant. This one's first year plant too, but it's doing really well. This is also first year plant, doing really well. Next year they should fill in and drift nicely here. These are paper whites coming up, which is fantastic. I love to see that they're expanding. Mexican feathergrass here. Mexican feathergrass is going to get expanded a little bit. It's not really a Bermuda killer. As you can see, the Bermuda can kind of come in. So I'm going to bunch it up. I'm going to put another one over there, bunch it up in there so it's nice and thick. I'm going to put another one right over here and bunch it up in there so it's nice and thick. Here's going to go another Salvia greggii. Oh, look, the bluebonnet's coming up. Bluebonnet rosettes. That's awesome. I'll leave those alone. And another bluebonnet rosette. I didn't see that. Another bluebonnet rosette. Man, they're everywhere this year. All right, that's awesome. They're coming up everywhere already. So I'm going to put another salvia in this area. And then I'm going to put a desert willow right here. I'm going to put a mound of soil so it's maybe a couple feet taller than it should be. And then put a desert willow right here. Give you a size reference next to the tree here. Right, so looking up, there's quite a bit of room right above me. That's straight up. So quite a bit of room between this and the tree. And it'll go right here, desert willow. Really kind of bummed that I'm going to have to dig up those bluebonnets, but oh well, whatever. So drifting this and drifting this combined, you can see how the purple and yellow are going to mix. It's going to be pretty striking. And also the red, because there's going to be a red over there, another salvia, and then another salvia over here. That's going to be more of a drift. It'll be significantly bigger. And so the red and the purple and then the yellow, I think it'll look fantastic. Over here, I'm really going back and forth with what to put here. I had considered an acacia orchid, but that would take up this whole big area. So at this point, I'm thinking a sweet almond verbena. And if I put it far enough over here, then it should get a little bit of shade from this here. So, yeah, and it will scent this whole entryway. I think it'll look nice. You can see again the Blackfoot daisy is just super disappointing. Not good at all. It's not good. What I want is a border plant to block out the Bermuda. Four-nerve daisy, love that stuff. It's pretty much always in full bloom right there. You can see the Greg's mist flower here. And actually you can see the four-nerve daisy there. Maybe I should pull this guy off. Yeah, let's pull that guy off right there. So there you can see the four-nerve daisy better. Lamb's ear. Love the lamb's ear here. It's pretty awesome. And let's look in here. This is the succulent garden, year 2. Succulents are looking pretty good there. All the different varieties. Really get a good look at those guys. There's a bunch of different varieties in here. I'm going to replant a lot of them next year. This year was really busy with the new house in Houston. This is a plant I'm really liking, the bamboo muley. Just so soft and fluffy. I just like the way it looks, how it lays over. And this is a plant that when I was talking with my mentor, the guy that I look to for advice when it comes to gardening and landscaping, his name is John Drumgold. When I looked at him, he said that he really didn't like this plant right here. This is a native poinsettia. Texas has a native poinsettia, and this is it right here. He said it's short and weedy. I really like this. I mean, I think it fills in nicely. It's a couple feet high. It really bunches up. I mean, it's an extremely aggressive plant, which is the reason I have it in this area. But you can see it's filled in quite well, and I think it looks nice with the bamboo muley there. Got that from a member of the Lady Bird Johnson Wildflower Center who said, if you want a cool plant, here it is, and nobody else has it, but it's very aggressive. Wavy scaly cloak fern, that did so well this year. I'm going to fill in this whole area with wavy scaly cloak ferns, maybe like 5 to 7. This here is Texas Betony. That's a butterfly plant and a hummingbird plant. So I've got some here. It likes really good shade, so there you have it. This plant might get moved. This little salvia might be one that I move to the front right there, just so that I don't have to get another one. And it'll give more room for the Esperanza, so that when I put the plant here that I'm going to put, which is probably a sweet almond verbena, then it won't interfere. That's a beautiful view, though. I really like that. I mean, this was all grass just a few years ago, and now it's looking very good. You can see the tropical sage here, Salvia coccinea. It's growing extremely well. This is a very good spot for it right here. It's really taken off. Next year I'm going to plant this even more. I don't know why it didn't come up very well this year, but I've got a bunch of seeds and a bunch of plants that are thriving back there, so I'll have more. Let's see, moving on. This space is really filling in nicely. Many of the branches that I said would be touching the ground soon are almost touching the ground right there. And that provides a full block right here, full wall almost. People can hear me talking in here, but they can't see me, which is really quite awesome. Little dog vomit fungus there. Very interesting. Okay, so this little bed here has been the bane of my existence. I tried a few things out here. Some stuff worked, some stuff didn't. Next year, I'm going to drift Mexican mint marigold right here. I'm going to put 5 of them, and just to create a wall from the Bermuda trying to come in. Same thing over here. I'm going to create a wall of the Bermuda. But the Mexican mint marigold can handle the full sun. The Mexican bush sage would have a slightly harder time, so it's going to go over here. And these will be bigger next year. I'm going to plant several of them here. This one will be bigger, and it will shade these slightly. I'm going to crowd them together so that it will shade the bush sage. You can see that there's 2 rosemaries that made it. One rosemary that didn't over there, right over there. That one got eaten by mites. So this is going to be next year drifted with bush sage. And I'm going to have 5 of these right here, 5 of the Pride of Barbados. This Mexican oregano has proven itself a very valuable, and I think it's going to be a front border plant right here. It will bloom at a different time than the Mexican mint marigold and the Mexican bush sage. I'm going to have to take the lavender out, just take it out. It did not do well here at all. There was lavender here over here as well. I don't even know if it's still alive. So yeah, what's going to be here next year is 5 Pride of Barbados and several oreganos, and all these are going to come from my own stock. I'm going to grow them all. Great view though. I love the way this is coming on. I'm going to put, next year I'm going to dig this guy up. He didn't like it here in the full sun. I'm going to move him over here so we can double the size of this guy, and I think it would look a little bit more impressive if he was double the size. You know what, I haven't really, even though this is my favorite plant, I've got them scattered, one here, one there. I'm going to mass them here. I'm going to put like 3 to 5 of the Texas sages right here, and they're going to come out to the curb here. Notice how this one has space. They're going to come out to the curb, and they're going to create a barrier here against the Bermuda. Definitely nice and thick, and moving that guy. So this is Hot Lips Salvia Gregii. I've got 3 of these here, but they're scattered. I think I want to put them together so that they look better. Mountain Laurel looking pretty good, and garlic chives looking pretty good there. Love the garlic chives. They're bulletproof. So this guy right here might get moved. I might move him and put another sweet almond verbena, like so I'd have 1, 2, and then have a 3rd one here. That's highly likely what's going to happen. They just smell so good. If I move him, I'm not quite sure where I'm moving though. These are set up so that cars can park and unload and everything, so I need to move him somewhere over here in this area. Maybe I put him right there, I don't know, but they're canyon plants, and so they want a little bit more shade. Speaking of sweet almond verbena, you can see them here. This little flower right here smells so good. Oh my gosh, it smells so good. So that's the reason it's here. A couple of them there, put another 3rd one up there. Really make this whole area smell nice. Crepe myrtle. How I love to cut this crepe myrtle is impeding the growth of this nice oak tree, so it's got to go. You can see that the pineapple guava is not only heavy with fruit, but just a big ass plant now. These canna lilies I'm really going to utilize a lot more next year as sort of a large leaf accent. I'll point those out here in a second. I've got blackberries back there, and I'm going to move those. They didn't get enough sun here this year. This bed is not going to be planted this year. I planted it for 3 straight years, so we're going to let it rest this year. Here is the desert willow. I just haven't put it in the ground yet. It's in a pot. More garlic chives. These guys, I don't even know what to say about this plant right here. I pulled some out of the ground and just threw them on top of the ground and said, you know what, if they make it, whatever. They did. I like this plant a lot. It's tough. You can see I've got some lantanas growing up here. I'll definitely transplant those. Butterfly plants, I can use those. Over here in this bed really got out of hand this year. I was working on that other property and just lost track of this guy. And so it really got inundated with grass. And again, what it taught me is I need to bring my big friends to the party and block out this buffalo grass. I'm going to put 2 more Texas sages right here, 2 more of the same one. This is an El Dorado, and I'm going to put 1 there and 1 here. And we're going to move the Zemexia and move that Salvia. The verbena just didn't work here this year, just too small, flimsy. This is, believe it or not, is a red Salvia Gregii. It is never like this spot, so hip hooray, it's going to get moved. I'm going to move it to one of the front spots over there. I'm sure it'll do well. This is interesting. I don't know what that is, some sort of fungus. It's very interesting. This is a methley plum, and the methley plum has been destroyed by the deer. It's just constantly getting eaten. I'm going to have to take that to Houston. This is a Sandankwa viburnum, and it's supposed to get large and in charge, so this is just going to provide a little bit of evergreen structure to the garden. And it'll be a nice contrast with the silver and the Sandankwa viburnum. This is a Australian bottle brush. I only kept 1. The one last year, if you watch my videos, you'll see that I had 2 very impressive specimens, and they both really almost died last year. So I'm keeping this one just because I just wanted to keep one. They're really nice. But I'm putting it to the back of the garden because it does die, and I want some more structure. This is a Rio Bravo Texas sage right here. It's supposed to be an amazing one. It is native to the Frio River Valley, so I'm pretty excited to see what that guy looks like. These are purple coneflowers, also known as echinacea. This is Alyssa's wildflower garden. Next year, there's going to be a border here, and the border will be limestone. You can see where the dead part is. The border's coming right here. I'm going to let the sensitive briar grow, and I'm going to let the purple coneflower grow, but I need to have some border plants here. And so on this edge right here, I'm going to have to figure out what my friend is going to be that holds back the buffalo grass, but I need something thick, similar to those lantanas. Maybe even I put another lantana back there and then build forward with something else, but I'm not going to fight this buffalo or the Bermuda grass every year. I'm going to put something thick. This is some sort of bouquet Texas sage. It is one of my favorite Texas sage flowers. I'm trying to find one here. You can kind of see the purple. It's a purple flower. Yeah, it's not really the pink. It's like a violets. And I'm really looking forward to this guy getting big. It's right out on the road here so that everyone will see it. You can see I still have Bermuda grass problems, but this will eventually grow in with the lantana and the Bermuda screwed. You know, the mealy sage did way better than I thought it would. This stuff bloomed literally all year long. I couldn't believe it. I only watered it 3-4 times, but it literally bloomed all year long. You can see them coming up. You can see them coming up all over the place. So this is great. I love the fact that I've got mealy blue sages coming up. Oh, there's a milkweed. Awesome. More mealy blue sage. Oh no, that's a lantana coming up right there and right there. So lots of volunteers here that are working out great. Milkweed didn't do so well. I think I got it in late last year. A couple of them came back, but not many. There's one right there. There's milkweed right there. And I don't know if the other one made it. I put in 3 last year. Oh, here it is. Here it is right here. Yeah, there's the other one. This is a red Esperanza. It's a little bit shorter, but it's very impressive. I mean, it has a ton of blooms. It puts on a very impressive show. It's not my favorite, but it definitely attracts the butterflies to that red, or the hummingbirds, I mean. The Russian sage is okay. I mean, it's kind of looking ratty this time of year. It's not really the right time of year for it. But, you know, I've got a third one coming up over here. I planted a third one, and I'll probably plant a couple more here. Or I say plant, just bend down some branches, and I'll probably grow a couple more in here next year so it's a little thicker. You can also see the Salvia greggii here. This salvia may get moved. Ooh, I see I've got some webworms on here. Oh yeah, I'll have some fun time picking off webworms tonight. Yeah, I don't, you know, webworms can really wreak havoc on a mountain laurel, but if you pick them off, and they're very easy to pick off, they don't sting or bite or anything. If you pick them off, then you have beautiful blooms the next year. They just go away. So that's what I'm going to do, is just pick them off, and that way I'll have beautiful blooms next year. But I can definitely see how they're coming. There's some oxalis that I'm just letting grow, just for grins. This is a Texas everbearing fig. This is the first year. Oops, let me get this little guy off. Bam! First year for this fig. It got, I think, eaten by the deer. Maybe there was some sort of major storm that came through, but when I came back from Houston one time, all the leaves were off. So I'm hoping that it, I don't know, hoping it's not damaged. I hope it comes back next year. So here's the view from here. Remember, this was all grass. All of this was grass at one point. Over here you can see the anthill. I mean, the ants are out of control this year. The good news is I know where they are, so I'm going to bait them quite heavily. This is okra. I thought I'd grow okra because Shauna said it was super healthy and she wanted to eat it. She didn't eat it. So at the end of this year, I've always liked okra, but I'm the only guy who eats it. So at the end of this year, I'm going to pull this up and I'm going to put the blackberries here. There's also artichokes that are supposed to be going in here, but looks like all the artichokes might have kicked the bucket. I had several pups that were out here, but I don't know where they went. They're dead now. Everything looks dead. So I'll have to get some new artichokes. This is a Shumard red oak. I believe it's a Shumard red oak based on the size of the leaves. Shumard red oaks are the kind that's resistant to oak wilt. These leaves were defoliated again, probably by the same animal that defoliated that, or same storm, and they came back pretty well. This is a second-year tree, and I'm hoping it gets bigger. And hopefully in 10 years it'll be 12, 15 feet tall kind of thing. So this is the backyard, or the side yard rather. A little bit of work needs to be done here. This bed's going to be moved. As these trees have grown in, it's just not getting enough shade. So I'm going to move this dirt from this bed, and I'll probably just include it in this bed right here. The dirt has been worked on for 5 years. It's in excellent condition, so I'm going to put it in a wheelbarrow and move it over here. And with that said, that irrigation is going to go away. So, yeah, there's that whole thing. Next year, canna lilies, that's right. So I was talking about the drifts next year. I'm going to drift some Texas sage here. And the canna lilies are going to go right here where the methley plum is, right up front here. I say up front, they're going to be behind. There's going to be something here that's larger, maybe some Greg's Mistflower or something that will grow into the Texas sage and help hold back the Bermuda. And then behind it, I'm going to have canna lilies in 6x6 patches, one variegated and one not. So that should look nice. And that's the front and side yard for this year. I'm going to do the backyard now.